In 1981, the U.S. Department of Energy made the decision to begin construction on the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant, 26 miles southeast of Carlsbad, New Mexico. The project consisted of 4 shafts, drilled 2,150 feet below the desert floor, and a large underground repository where transuranic waste, left over from the nation's nuclear defense programs, would be safely and permanently disposed of.
So Lou Whitlock and Senator Joe Gant went and met with Dixie Lee Ray. Dixie Lee Ray was very surprised that a community wanted a project like this to be located in their backyard. And really the rest is history.
We worked very hard to get this project open. We had a lot of help from people in the community. I can't even begin to name all the people that we worked with.
Joe Gant and Lewis Whitlock were both telling the Carlsbad community not to come to any conclusion. Let's hear the facts. Let's try to understand exactly what this is about before we decide one way or another.
When we started, we didn't have anywhere to go look at a facility. This was the first of its kind, and today it's still the only licensed facility, so we're on the cutting edge of everything.
Well, I can remember during the early days of our site investigations, we had a geologist, Bill Vollendorf was his name. He was out doing some field studies, and he was signaling to some of our people to see if he could maintain radio contact with them. But what we managed to do is get the interest of the state police. Stopped and went and interviewed this guy because they thought he was a drug runner or something. So we had to hurry and explain what was going on, and this guy was really legitimate. But at the time it wasn't too funny, but in retrospect it turned out to be a little bit of comedy there.
7 years later, in 1988, with overwhelming support from the surrounding community and major construction projects above ground, as well as the first waste emplacement panels in the underground complete, WIPP declared operational readiness.
Right, that was when the site was ready and was prepared to receive the first shipment.
The thing that folks were wearing were sort of t-shirts or sweatshirts around Carlsbad said, "Open the gate in '88." Well, we were a long way beyond '88 when I came down.
We received in '98 the Carlsbad area office declaration of readiness. This was all in preparation for what we thought was going to be the opening in '99.
In 1999, with the last legal hurdle behind us, the first shipment of transuranic waste departed from Los Alamos National Laboratories, and just before midnight on March 26, 1999, it arrived at the WIPP site.
From Los Alamos to WIPP, I was in the caravan driving my little Jeep Cherokee down from Los Alamos until it turned south on 285 coming south.
And we stayed down here and waited for the truck to come through town.
We met them outside of town here in Carlsbad, and we followed them in. But as we turned down Green Street in front of the building that was the headquarters for DOE at that time, headed out on the Hobbs Highway, and there were people lining both sides of the street, and they were all cheering and waving American flags, and it was exciting.
We had probably 500 people there out on the site, and it was just absolutely magnificent, just a tremendous amount of exhilaration. It was magnificent.
Representative Skeen, he sat in the passenger side of that truck, and they cleared it through the gate and everything, and that was quite a night.
So it was a very proud moment to see the waste coming in through that gate. After all of that hard work, over 1,000 employees that worked hard on this project.
To date, WIPP has received over 12,300 shipments of transuranic waste and has safely emplaced over 176,000 waste containers in the underground. WIPP remains the nation's only deep geological repository for the permanent disposal of transuranic nuclear waste. Nations from around the globe look to WIPP as the gold standard for disposing of nuclear waste. Our mission to serve our nation for future generations, safely disposing the nation's transuranic waste, has been extended from 2030 to 2050. In 2019, construction began on a 55,000 square foot HEPA filtration building that will increase airflow to the underground, making it safer for our workforce and allowing us to expand the repository to accommodate future shipments. Our mission is a vital part of our national security, and WIPP is committed to always safely moving forward, serving our nation for future generations, safely disposing the nation's transuranic waste. We know that none of this would have been possible without the hard work and support of our community, our legislators, and our nation.
Nuclear Waste Partnership is proud to be part of this WIPP team. This national asset has been successful over the years and has a bright future. We look forward to being part of that future.
WIPP has a great history. We've heard lots of stories of how we got here, but we're also looking to the future. WIPP is key for the continued national defense mission, for the environmental cleanup mission around the complex, and for the nation as a whole. And we look forward to the next couple decades and hope to be back here in 20 or 30 years celebrating our 40th or 50th anniversary.